everyone. I am going live today to kick off my Clean Food Challenge. We are eating to heal eczema. And today we are talking about how we shop for clean food. If you're joining me on the Clean Food Challenge this week, I want to help you. How do we shop for this clean food? And sometimes that's harder than we think because we do have to think about it a little bit. And so I'd love to go through all the things that I usually go through when I'm shopping for clean food. How do I do this? How do I make it easier for myself? How do I make eating clean easy? And this is not necessarily the easiest thing. So I want to give you guys all the tools today. So please join me today. And our agenda is from 10:30 to 10:45. A couple minutes late, so we might go a couple minutes over that, but we're going to learn how do you shop for clean food. And I do have a guide that you guys can get from me if you DM me. You can DM me right now, and then I'll go ahead and give you access to that guide. And it's a planner that you can just fill out so that you can make sure you're getting all the things you need to eat clean food. So make sure to DM me for that. And then the last 15 minutes of this live today, I'm going to answer all of your questions. So please go ahead and start typing your questions into the comments, and I'm happy to start answering those now. Okay. I'm sorry, at the end. All right. So the first thing with the shopping guidelines is you want to choose organic and non-GMO foods that are fresh, and you can choose frozen if needed. Frozen may have a little bit less nutrients because of that freezing process. You do want to do, just really fresh foods if possible. But if that's not an option for you, frozen is a possibility. And that might make it easier to get the rainbow foods that we're going to talk about in a minute. You want to do pasture raised or organic animal foods. That's very important because those toxins are really, going up that food ladder, and our meats, our animal products are going to have a lot of those toxins. So make sure that you're doing pasture raised and organic. Limit the seafood to no more than 3 servings per week. However, we do want you to have those really good fatty fish. So that's something that you just kind of have to weigh and balance. So let me know if you guys have questions about that. And if you are doing packaged foods, which this week we don't want to do any packaged foods if possible, we want to do all whole foods. But if you are going to do any packaged foods, choosing glass rather than cans or plastic. And then when you do grains, beans, and seeds, make sure that you are soaking those or sprouting those so that they can be more easily digested. And then make sure you're reading labels. And this week we are trying to not eat anything that is packaged. Hopefully we're not needing to read labels because we're eating only whole foods this week, would be my hope. But if you are, make sure you're reading those labels and you're not doing anything that has gluten or dairy because we are avoiding that this week for our Clean Food Challenge. Okay. Now, proteins are going to be a really big one. So you're going to see, if you do get my guide, you're going to see protein is the top of my list. You want to calculate how much protein you need. And in terms of proteins, you can, of course, do those animal proteins or those vegetable proteins. And you'll see on my shopping planner that this is one of the first things we really want to think about, because that protein is really breaking down into the building blocks of what is going to heal our skin, what's going to help us to detoxify. So we do need those proteins. So how do you calculate your proteins? This is going to be on my planner. So just DM me if you do want that planner, and you'll take your weight and in kilograms, and then you're basically going to figure out that daily protein intake, and then you can convert that over to pounds. In my planner, I have that all laid out for you. Okay, so figuring out your protein is step one when you're thinking about shopping. So when you think about shopping, you can start by saying, okay, what do we need for protein? You want to calculate how much each individual needs over the course of the week, and then multiply that. And that's how you know how much protein you need to buy. And then you can have a variation of animal proteins and vegetable proteins. Okay. Next thing, when you're shopping, I really want you to think about eating the rainbow. So I want you to think about, okay, what colors can I get into my diet? Everything from my reds to my oranges to my yellows and my greens, my blues, my purples, etc. And this is so important because these rainbow colors have our phytonutrients, they have our vitamins, they have our minerals. This is where we're getting a lot of those tools to help our skin to heal, to help us detoxify, to help feed our gut microbiome in the fibers in these foods as well too. So this can be very important. So you'll see in my planner, if you guys do end up getting my planner, that I break down each of these colors so that you can really think about, okay, what am I eating for reds? Okay, I'm going to get tomatoes and red bell peppers. What am I going to get for my yellows? Those yellows, a lot of them have a lot of that vitamin C I was talking about in my live earlier this week. We have our oranges, our limes, our lemons, etc., our greens. So by thinking about the rainbow when you're shopping, it can really kind of give you a roadmap as to what you should buy when you are shopping for your food for the week. Okay. Then the other thing you want to think about when you are thinking about the rainbow is you want to make sure you're getting all organic if you can. Now, if you can't, that's okay, but you want to really stay away from the dirty dozen. So the dirty dozen is going to be all of these listed here. So your strawberries, your spinach, your kale, your collard greens, those all need to be organic because these are the foods that the EWG has listed as the highest pesticide-ridden foods. In my eczema patients, when we do testing for environmental toxins, I often find that my patients have a lot of environmental toxins like pesticides. So you want to make sure you are eating organic as much as possible. If you aren't eating organic, then at least make sure these foods right here that you choose these and when you purchase them, that you purchase them organic, or if at a restaurant you avoid these if it doesn't say it's organic. Okay. And then there is also another list called the Clean 15. So with the Clean 15, this one is an interesting list because these are the ones that are the lowest pesticide ridden foods. So you can actually buy these not organic, and it might be okay. Things like carrots and sweet potatoes and mangoes. So maybe if you're trying to save a little bit of money, you can buy these foods and they don't necessarily have to be organic. Okay. When you get those rainbow foods, I need you to wash them. So you can make your own produce wash with white vinegar, distilled or filtered water, and then a little bit of Celtic sea salt, lime, and then soak that for 15 minutes. And then you can use all of that produce. You can also buy a produce wash. Sometimes I'll just do this to make it easier for myself. So make sure you buy a natural produce wash that you can just spray on those fruits and vegetables and then soak them, and then they're good to go. Okay. All right. So the clean food plate, we talked about this at my live earlier, but this is what we're trying to build this week. So we want half of your plate to be colorful fruits and vegetables. So that rainbow that you are shopping for, you really want to make sure you buy a lot of that. So when I go shopping for clean food, which is every single week, I make sure I have a plethora of greens and reds and yellows to fill half of my plate. I have a little bit of good high fiber carb like amaranth, quinoa, brown rice. I actually like to make a combination of those three, and I put those into my rice cooker, and then it's done. And that's a nice, really good high fiber carb. And then I like my proteins, which could be either vegetarian or animal fat. And those are actually 30% of your plate. Again, those proteins are really important to help us heal. And then we have our good fats, which could also be part of your proteins. Like if you're eating salmon, that's going to have really good omega-3s. But you could also add here things like avocado, et cetera. And that will also give you some good fats on the plate. Okay. So when you think about what you're going to buy this week, you also want to think about, okay, what are my plates going to look, and how am I going to build this in a way that is going to give me those clean food plates. Okay. And we talked about this earlier this week, but these are some nutrients you want to focus on when you are buying your food. So omega-3s, we definitely want those in there. So when you think about your proteins, think about those fats too. Make sure you're including those omega-3s onto your shopping list. And that would be fatty fish, or if you're not doing fish, then you can do things like flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts, if you're allowed to have those. And if you can't get those, then instead of putting those on your shopping list, you may want to think about getting those as a supplement, okay? Because if I see an eczema patient almost 99.99% of the time, they're going to have low omega 3s unless they are supplementing, just because we are not usually eating these foods. And sometimes my eczema patients do have allergies to things like fish and seeds and nuts. And so they actually can't eat these foods. So, especially if you can't eat these foods, this is where you're really going to want to think about, okay, maybe I need to, instead of putting this on my shopping list, maybe I need to supplement. Vitamin D, mostly we're getting this through the sun, but we are also getting this through our fatty fish. So fatty fish, fatty fish, fatty fish, egg yolks, but some of my eczema patients can't have eggs. So again, we might need to supplement with this, but it is something to think about if you're allowed to have these foods, to put it on your shopping list. And then vitamin C is where we're going to get those beautiful colors on our plate. We're going to get a lot of vitamin C in those foods, in addition to a whole bunch of other good nutrients. But we have our citrus. So we got our yellows there, our oranges, our lemons. We got our berries, which have a lot of vitamin C, our bell peppers, our leafy greens. So as you can see, all of those colors there, that's where a lot of our vitamins are. And so hopefully you're getting these. And, the only thing here that some eczema patients could have a problem with, sometimes the citrus could be an issue. Sometimes berries can be an issue, and sometimes bell peppers. So that's where working with someone to understand if these are problematic for you might be important. But for now, for the Clean Food Challenge, I just really want you to try to get the rainbow. Okay. All right. So if you are joining our Clean Food Challenge this week, I'm hoping this is going to help you kickstart your journey. Again, the reminder for the Clean Food Challenge this week, it does start Monday, October 7th. It ends October 13th. Hopefully you can join us starting tomorrow and get your food order, get your food, go to the grocery store. I personally like to make this a little easier for myself. I use Whole Foods, and I usually just order it on my app and then I go pick it up. And it makes it a little easy because basically every week I can just say, order the same thing and then just make changes as needed. I do tend to order a lot of the same things on a weekly basis. I don't tend to eat the same thing every day. I do like people to have more of a rotation diet where you're not eating the exact same thing every day, but you're maybe rotating, 4 different proteins and different colors of your vegetables and all of that, so that you're not eating the same thing. But on a weekly basis, I do tend to order some of the same things, some of the same proteins, some of the same colorful vegetables. So for me, ordering on Whole Foods makes it really easy. There's a lot of other ways to do this, but you could, there's other ways like Thrive and other companies that you could use that do have clean foods. I like it because I can go pick it up and there's a Whole Foods right near me. And then it just makes it so easy. So, instead of it being like a 2-hour excursion to go to the grocery store and shop around and pick everything out every week, I basically just click, okay, add all of the items from my last order to my new order. And then I just kind of pick and choose what I need to change out. So that makes it really easy. So if you are going to join me on the Clean Food Challenge this week, I am going to be doing this with you all week. I'm going to be posting clean food. I'm going to be showing you how I make these foods. How do I make them easily? How do I do snacks that are easy? I know this is a big question because it's really hard. I'm going to try to also give some support in terms of what to do for kids, and what to do for adults. And I know for kids, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but there are some simple things you can do that are still clean and still, whole foods. So how to participate, you're going to follow me at drfong.nd on Instagram. We're going to be eating clean food all week, and you want to document those meals. So every day, if you can post either a story, a reel, or a post, and then just use the hashtag Clean Food Challenge and Eat to Heal Eczema, that would be great. Then tag me. And if you are private, I don't usually see those tags. So you'll just need to take a snapshot and just message it to me. And then on the last day, next Sunday, which is a week from now, I want you to share your experience. You could share that with me personally, or you can do a post where you share your experience. Just tell me how you feel. Tell us how you feel. It is pretty amazing how in such a short period of time, like only a couple of days, 7 days, you can actually feel better when you change your nutrition and when you actually start potentially removing some of those food sensitivities, because we are going to, for eating clean food, I am going to ask you to avoid gluten, dairy, and sugar. And then I want you to eat a lot of whole foods. So one, I want to see that taking out processed foods is already going to make you feel better. Eating whole foods, it's like you're eating vitamins in every meal, which is what we're supposed to be doing. And then removing some of those inflammatory foods like gluten, dairy, and sugar can also make an immense difference. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be night and day in only 7 days, but I do think you will see these incremental changes that hopefully will allow you to say, oh my gosh, like food is a big deal. And now I'm really seeing how much food is a big deal. And hopefully you continue beyond the 7 days. And this is, something that can help you to heal. The other thing is sometimes diet is part of the equation. So I also don't want you to expect like, oh my gosh, it didn't work. And now, I'm going to go back to doing all this stuff I used to do, because it's only part of the equation. So changing your diet is great. And that can help us to feel better. Sometimes it's not the whole picture. Sometimes it's not everything that's needed. And we need to do more. We need to think about more lifestyle aspects that might be affecting the eczema. Maybe we might need to think about toxins, microbes, et cetera, that we actually need to identify and then treat. But no matter what, diet and nutrition always helps the eczema. So that's not even a question. It's just how much, maybe it's not the full picture for you. Okay. If you do join my Clean Food Challenge, everybody who joins will get my Eczema Relief Jumpstart Guide. And this really gives you a lot of the tools you need to jumpstart your healing process, so that you can start to see changes. So not just nutrition is in this, but nutrition plus other factors that are involved that could really help, including some itch relief remedies as well. So if you join me on this 7-day challenge, everyone will get the Eczema Relief Jumpstart Guide. And then 2 lucky participants will be chosen to win a complimentary root cause consultation with me and my topical skin kit, which is my Clean Skin Kit. I'm going to show it to you right here. So this is my Clean Skin Kit. There are 3 things in the Clean Skin Kit. So number 1 is Clean Skin Calm. Clean Skin Calm is a topical hypochlorous acid product. Hypochlorous acid is something that can be used to address one of the main root causes of eczema, which is microbiome imbalances on the skin. Hypochlorous acid specifically can target that bug that I talked about 2 weeks ago, which is called Staphylococcus aureus, or staph. And hypochlorous acid has been known to kill the staph, within seconds of being sprayed on the skin. The plus of this is hypochlorous acid is natural. It is something that the body makes. Our immune system actually makes hypochlorous acid when it's trying to fight bacteria. And so it's something that we naturally produce. So that's really great. It has a really good safety profile. And in addition, it has some additional benefits of lowering inflammation and potentially lowering itch. And so that's why we call this Clean Skin Calm, because often when you are getting a flare, it is potentially because of an infection on the skin. And so this can really calm the skin, calm the itch, calm the inflammation. So the first product in the Clean Skin Topical Kit is called Clean Skin Calm. The next one is Clean Skin Restore, and this is a topical probiotic. So, the first part is, okay, let's kill, what might be growing and causing infection on the skin. The second part is let's replenish a microbiome on the skin to make it so that things like Staph aureus and Malassezia, which is another bug that I talked about in a live, about 2 weeks ago, that's a yeast that grows on the skin for eczema people, that we are guarding against that by just boosting all of the probiotics on the skin. So Clean Skin Restore is the second product. And the third is Clean Skin Protect. And this is like a Vaseline-like consistency product that has things like shea butter and jojoba oil, castor oil, emu oil, and cocoa butter. And it is non-toxic in that it doesn't have petroleum, it doesn't have mineral oil. These are things that you'll find often in these types of products. I've removed those from this. The other thing I've removed is oftentimes you'll see a lot of the products that are don't have the petroleum and the mineral oil do have things like coconut oil, and they have soy oil, and a lot of my patients are actually allergic or sensitive to those things. So this can be really great. So if you do decide to do the Clean Food Challenge, those are the products that you'll win. 2 lucky participants will win the topical kit and a root cause consultation. Okay. All right, time for questions. So today we're talking about how to shop for clean food. I'd love to open it up to any questions now. Remember, this is for informational purposes only. If you want medical advice, definitely consider booking a consultation or doing my assessment to kind of start the journey of understanding how to really address the root cause of your eczema. Okay. Please go ahead and type into the chat if you have any questions right now. I'm happy to answer any and all questions about how to shop for clean food. And we are doing a clean food challenge this week. We are eating to heal eczema. Um, if you know somebody who might benefit from this, definitely send this over to them. Or, if you want to do this yourself, sometimes it's really helpful to have people join you. So have your friends join you on this challenge. And everyone, no matter what they're dealing with, can definitely experience improvements in their health from eating clean food. So it's not just something that only eczema people need to do. This is for everybody. We all need to start eating clean food. So if you guys have any questions about how to eat clean food, how to shop for clean food, let me know. Again, if you DM me, then you can get my clean food shopping planner. And this planner will help you to plan out how you are buying your clean food on a weekly basis. There are a bunch of things to think about. I think oftentimes we are only thinking about, what do I want to eat? What will taste good in my mouth? But I think we really need to think beyond that. We need to think about what's going to heal my body, what is going to nurture my body, and what's going to taste good as well. So I'm going to be doing the Clean Food Challenge with you guys all week. I'm going to be showing you my clean food plates. I'm going to be showing you what I eat for snacks and what I eat for breakfast. And I'll do a whole day of just kind of showing you what I do for my clean food. Okay. All right. So if anyone has any other questions, please type into the chat. Otherwise, I hope to see you on this Clean Food Challenge journey that we have going this week. And I hope you join me in eating to heal eczema. Thanks, everyone.